This plant is Comptonia Peregrina, or sweet fern, and it's not in the fern family, but it gets the name because the leaves have kind of a fern-like appearance to them. And this is probably my favorite wild tea. The leaves can be dried out and made into a tea. Just take a handful of them and throw them in a cup of water like you would a normal tea. It has a very earthy, I don't even know how to describe it, almost like a minty taste. But in the summer especially, you can smell this plant in the morning, right after the dew's kind of dried up. And it's just this delicious, earthy, minty sort of smell. It's not quite a mint, but this plant is really good for stomach conditions. If you were to make it into a salve with oil, it's good for cuts and bruises and abrasions. It's tannic, so if you were to have any sorts of parasites, it closes up the walls of your intestinal tract, so parasites wouldn't be able to penetrate it. So it's a way of passing parasites through you. And there's been lots of people who have used it to actually heal their stomach conditions, because it kind of makes a protective, oily layer around the lining of your stomach, so you're not dealing as much with sort of acidic stomach ulcer type conditions. But it's definitely worth finding and checking out. And one last thing, on the stems, typically they grow about waist high or around knee high. But the stems, they kind of radiate in a circle, almost like a whorl, which is a kind of a circular pile of leaves, but they alternate on the outside of it all the way up. But just look for that shaped leaf, the smell, very distinct smell, and the time of year they're there from very early spring until November probably, and then they lose their leaves. So enjoy.